And hey everyone, it's Amy, and welcome back to today's show of Empowering You TV. I am so happy and glad you're here, and you're in for a treat tonight. And I also just want to take a moment and let you know why I'm wearing pink. Today here in Canada is National Pink Shirt Day, and it was started 10 years ago in Nova Scotia by a group of students in school who stood up for a friend of theirs who was wearing pink in the school. A young boy or young girl was wearing pink, and they were targeted and bullied. So friends gathered around and wore pink to show, you know what, enough, and you can wear pink, and it's okay to be yourself. So that's what National Pink Shirt Day is here in Canada, and that's why I'm wearing a pink shirt today. Tell you briefly just a tiny bit about me. My name is Amy, and I am your host for this brand new show here in Calgary, Alberta, is where I'm located. Yet I grew up in Pickering, Ontario, about 20 minutes east of Toronto. This week, you will hear remarkable stories of women who have beaten the odds, risen above all challenges, and are now living their amazing lives full on like the brave, empowered women they're born to be, and I know they are. For more information, to be featured on Empowering You TV, please reach out to me at amy@inchbyinchempowerment.com. For today's show, I am super excited to introduce you to my friend Vikki McKinnon. She and I have known each other for a few years. We've taken a couple of workshops together and have done some networking, and she's an amazing woman, and I'm so glad she's here. But I do want to read you where she's come from and where she's been. So Vikki McKinnon is an author, coach, mentor, and master numerologist. Her passion is helping people gain greater understanding of themselves, their potential, their relationships, and their journey, and giving them a greater sense of authentic personal power. She has prepared numerology profiles for individuals and clients across North America, in Britain, Ireland, Japan, and the Middle East. As a founder of the Born to Thrive Numerology course and the Advanced Numerology Mentorship Program, Vikki has taught and mentored aspiring numerologists in Canada and Japan since 2008. She has been a repeat guest on radio shows and has been interviewed for CBC News World and Ottawa Metro News. That is remarkable. Vikki, hello. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, Amy. It's wonderful to be with you today.
Yay! I'm so glad you're here, and I think it might be snowing still, which is kind of silly. But, you know, it's February. So, where we go? We're going to go over here. I would like you to tell me about yourself. I know who you are, but the rest of the world doesn't know who you are. So where are you in the world?
Okay, well, you've pretty much outlined the role that I've taken on. I sometimes refer to myself as the number lady. I'm here in Calgary, just like you, Amy, and I do travel, though, to Eastern Canada. I'm a transplanted Easterner, like you.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but I'm currently living in Calgary. There are 3 grand princesses 10 minutes away that kind of pull the heartstrings and keep me here.
Aw, that's awesome. Your granddaughters are so beautiful. I've seen some pictures and they're so cute.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what in your life, let's get into some questions. So what in your life have you overcome? And can you share your story briefly with us?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for me, the biggest hurdle, I think the pivotal time in my life that defined who I am today and set me on this course was being in an abusive marriage for 15 years. I'm a slow learner. It was during that time that I first was introduced to the wonderful world of numerology and the concept that numbers are centers of energy that support and sustain us and that can guide us and assist with our journey towards self-esteem, because when my abusive marriage ended, had just a little speck of dust. I felt that my self-esteem was a little speck of dust on the floor, and my ex was kind of grinding his heel into it, and this social outcast, a failure, and I was exhausted all the time. My children were 13, 6.5, and 13, 6.5, and 1.5 at the time. So I had, a toddler, a little boy just starting school, a teenager, and a full-time teaching job myself. And, it was pretty exhausting. So I think of that as being my big mountain that I had to climb, that, and, keeping the family together, maintaining my job and my home, and all of the challenges, all the demands on my time at that time, and also my climbing that mountain of self-esteem. And I don't think you ever really get off of that mountain. You just get higher up.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty remarkable that you were in a marriage that wasn't a good marriage and wasn't the best for you and your children, and how you've come through it, and it's pretty awesome. If you could change anything though that happened or that has happened to you in your past, what would that be and why?
Golly, very long time ago, I was a preschooler. I had just finished drawing a picture of, rainbows or butterflies, or the kinds of things that preschoolers like to draw. And I said to my mom, I'm a good artist, aren't I, Mommy? I'm a really good artist. And the answer I got was, you mustn't say things like that about yourself. Your dad doesn't want you to be conceited. So that set me on that path toward thinking I must not say anything really positive about myself. Therefore, I must not think anything positive about myself. In fact, I should think more negative things about myself. I should think that I'm unworthy and not good and not good enough. And therefore, I should act like that. So that was just, a pivotal experience at a very formative age. And I certainly don't want to sound like I'm blaming my mother. She did what she had to do from her experience in life as well. And my parents were wonderful. So, but I really wish that hadn't happened, because I believe that sense of not feeling worthy was instilled in me at a very early age, and that made life a whole lot more difficult than it needed to be.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful, especially in your formative years, like under the age of 5, and that being kind of put on your hard drive of your brain, your subconscious.
Yeah, put on the hard drive, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so that's I would go back and change that too if I were. I'd go back and change that. There's a few things I would go back and change in my growing up years, and yeah. So Vikki, can you tell me what's your why and why you do what you do today? I have an idea, but let's see how far I'm right.
Well, I always wanted to help people feel better about themselves. I always wanted to put people up, and I've always felt really horrible if I think I might have accidentally hurt someone's feelings or offended them in some way. And following my first marriage, during that really difficult time when I just felt so low myself, I just thought I actually made a promise to myself and the universe that I was going to do whatever I could possibly do to help people feel good about who they are and what they're doing in the world. And I didn't know at the time that was going to become such an integral part of my life's work. I just felt like, I just want to lift people up. I believe that the world is a better place when we lift each other up.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you do what you do today?
And that's why I do what I do today. I mean, I think I put it out there to the universe that that's what I wanted to do in life, and the universe provided me with this wonderful, wonderful opportunity to do so.
For sure, for sure. And knowing you, and I've had some of your amazing gifts and received some of your beautiful readings and such, this must go into what you do for your business. And so how about you take a couple minutes and tell us about your business and what you do?
Okay, so my business has Got Your Number, and you can find me on the internet, gotyournumber.ca. But basically, through my work, I coach people. I do the numerology sessions. I offer birthday forecasts because a lot of people want to know what's coming up in life. And to me, this is not about fortune telling by any means. This is sort of discerning the energy that's around you and what that energy supports in your life, and help you get a better sense of timing, better sense of understanding where you are, why certain things are presented to you at this time in your life, and possible proactive solutions to some of the challenges that you're facing. So I do a lot of that through my business. I work with people's names. I work with their birth dates. Your name tells you about your soul's ongoing journey through many lifetimes, and your birth date will tell you about this journey that started. I just did one for a lady whose birthday was February 6th, so I'm going to take that, that started February 6th, 1977, or that started September 15th, 1952, or whatever your birth date is. That's the journey that you're on this lifetime, and that's what we learn most about by looking at your date aspects, whereas with your name aspects, we look at your soul's ongoing journey through many lifetimes and the way your character and your spirituality is evolving over those lifetimes.
Yeah, and I always wondered that because what some listeners or viewers may not know is I was born premature. So I always wondered if with numerology and things like that, growing as now an adult, yes, my birthday is October 6th, but I really should have been born, Christmas Eve-ish. And is that, would have that changed my whole direction of life? Probably. So it's interesting.
You were born medically premature, obviously, but in the grand scheme of things and from the universal spiritual point of view, you were born at exactly the right time for the right reason.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Vikki, do you have any testimonials you can share, or a story of a client who's changed from working with you?
Well, I've met so many fabulous clients, and I just want to share a story about a lady that I met in Japan. I've met beautiful people all over the world, but I was asked to go and teach in Japan on 4 different occasions. Each time I spent about 3.5 to 4 weeks there, and right in the middle of Tokyo. It was a fascinating experience. One of the ladies who came to me for a private session, and then she subsequently took my course. She had been in the earthquake in Kobe, and I believe it was 1997, maybe 98, 96, anyway, mid-90s. And her business had been destroyed. She'd lost her business, but she had lost both of her parents, all of her siblings. She'd lost her home and her business. And about 3 months later, her marriage fell apart. She did have a 3-year-old little boy who survived along with her and her husband, so that was a good thing. But anyway, she had to come from the ground up, and showing her cycles and looking back over her, the various cycles that she was going through, the karmic lessons, the pinnacles of achievement and opportunity and experiences that she was meant to have in this life. It was all right there in the numbers. And she shared with me that she really, really admired Audrey Hepburn, and she would like to go to Africa and work with the children just the way Audrey Hepburn had done. And so we looked, doing the progressive chart, and we could see exactly where the numbers were fitting in to support that, not only where she would likely go, but you know, it was pretty obvious that she would likely be leading children's choirs, and that her face lit up with that. That she would be working with children and helping them to sing and get involved in the arts over there. And we could even see where she was going with her business as well, and what would be the suitable time for her to dissolve that and go on to that next chapter in her life. That was really heartwarming to have had that connection with her. Beautiful, radiant Japanese lady.
That just like, wow. Just listening to the story, I'm like,
yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it really was. And I've met many more beautiful, beautiful people. It's just been really heartwarming. And I've had testimonials like, you know, I thought that, you know, I was such a complete failure until I came to see you, and, you know, others that make me feel good, because it's what I want to do, is to help lift people up and help them to believe in themselves and feel good about where they're going in the future.
Oh, for sure. And that's so important in life, especially what's going on in the world, everywhere in the world, not, you know, just here in North America, but, you know, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vikki, how do you stay empowered in your life?
How do I stay empowered in my life? Well, I believe in clean eating. I eat really good food, salads all the time, and lots of, I'm not a raw food kind of person in terms of that's all my complete diet, but I believe that everybody should have some raw food every day, and you know, balanced meals. And my daughter's become a personal trainer in the past few years, so she's got me doing the, you know, lifting the biceps kind of thing, or lifting the weights for the biceps. And so I believe in, you know, having lots of exercise as well. And then just my connections with my clients, it energizes me. I just feel like, wow, this feels so good to just really reach people on a heart level. And that's very empowering as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Now, is there a book or a movie or even a song that empowers you to keep going in your life?
You know, I was thinking about that, and I love to read, and I'm a huge fan of Dr. Wayne Dyer. It's so sad that he passed away in the last year or so, but I do love his work. I love the work of Sonia Choquette. I keep a gratitude journal as well, so that's kind of nice to read about, you know, read my own writing kind of thing, you know, things that I'm grateful for. And then as far as the song goes, I would have to choose Helen Reddy's song, I Am Woman.
Yep, know that one.
That's the one that I find really keeps me feeling empowered. I am woman, hear me roar.
Yes, that's a very good one. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Those are awesome choices. So out of those things that you do to stay empowered in your life, what is one simple step that the viewers can do to empower them in their own life? What's one little thing they could do?
That viewers can do? Well, I would say know your numbers. Find out what your numbers have to say to you, because numerology is no more woo-woo than you know, and numbers are no more woo-woo than the energy of, because they are centers of energy, than the energy of the, you know, fire in your fireplace or electricity in your refrigerator. Numbers are simply energy. Einstein himself said, we live in a sea of numbers. You need to know that every letter in your name tells a story about you, that every number in your birth date can lead the way to more empowered living. That numbers can, you know, your why, your when, your what, your who, all of that is encoded in your name and your birth date. Life does not have to be as hard, you know, as some people find it to be, you know, if they would only take the time to get to know yourself.
That's beautiful. That's a great idea, and I support that idea. And go do it, everyone. Just go contact. We'll get Vikki's contact information in a little bit. But yeah, just reach out to her. She's fabulous, and I know she does work through Skype, or she doesn't have to be in Calgary if you're not in Calgary.
Oh no, I do a lot of work through Skype.
Yeah. Where were we? Where we are? Oh yes. What is one message you would want to tell the next generation of girls about empowering themselves? For example, if you could go back in time and tell your 11-year-old self something, what would it be? And I find it very interesting that we're doing this show today on National Pink Day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's, to me, that's like two questions in one. So can I just address the first one about the one thing I'd like to tell young girls?
Yeah.
This is coming from a school teacher and somebody who you might deem to be pretty old-fashioned, but I would say get your education, because I ended up a single mother of 3. I was so grateful that I had my teaching, my university degree, my teaching job. I was able to support my children, and it can be really, really a hard life out there if you haven't got some level of skill or education that you've developed, and that having that level of skill or education, behind you, a level of expertise, can really help you to feel better about yourself, but then also to make your way in the world and make a good contribution.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then if I were to go back to my 12-year-old self, I would say, you didn't have to be quite such a people pleaser. Could have been more, it would have been okay to put some of my priorities ahead of other people's.
And yes, and now do you do that now, today?
I do. I'm fortunate. I'm retired from the teaching job, obviously, so that gives me time to do my exercises every day and to read when I feel like reading, or and just relax. And I do have time to prepare those healthy meals that I was talking about and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's so awesome. Thank you for that, Vikki. Now let's take a moment, and if there's who is someone that you would want to thank, who inspires you to be your best self, who's helped you when you've been going through a difficult time, if you could write a thank you card to that person, what would it say, and who is that person?
Wow. Well, I would have to say both my parents, okay? So, I referred to my mom earlier on, but really both of my parents instilled in me a sense of how important it is to do the right thing. You don't always do the easy thing, you do the right thing, and you treat people well, and you give service whenever you can, and so they instilled that love of learning and a desire to make a contribution in me. Not so much by what they said, although that was important as well, but basically by the role modeling that they gave. So my thank you letter to them would be along those lines.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love asking the interview people that question, because some of the answers that I've heard so far, and this is only the third show, so it's been hearing so far what people are saying, and I look forward to continuing on and hearing other people's thank you letters. So, Vikki, let's switch back a little bit to more business type questions.
Okay.
And what is coming up that our viewers should know about?
Well, I'm constantly in a position to, where I'm planning my next course kind of thing. I'm starting on Friday. For the next 2 Fridays, I will be teaching the Born to Thrive numerology course, and then I will make it available. I have offered it online as well. And so that's coming up. I'm speaking in Calgary at Women Talk on March 15th. I'm working on my second book. I don't really have a title yet. The working title would be You Were Born to Thrive. And so I'm working on that so that anybody can do a numerology reading, for themselves. It's not as good as actually speaking to a numerologist, because it's still kind of important to get that face-to-face and the expert interpretation, but it's a good start for knowing yourself. And then my current book, which is called Please Take a Number. I'm revising that and relaunching that. Most likely in the fall. I've kind of set that as a deadline.
Those are some pretty fun activities and things you got coming, and courses, and wow, you haven't slowed down one bit.
No, yeah, it's about balance.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier,
Yeah.
off air. So Vikki, that's what you have like coming up, but let's dream a little bit. So what's next for you, or what's an intention that you've set for yourself?
An intention that I've set for myself. Well, I would really like to. I would like to teach my course outside of Canada. I would like to reach out to. I would like to do more readings actually, and see more clients and students in the UK. I really love England and feel very much at home there, and so that's something that I've thought about that I would like to do.
That's awesome. I'd say go for it. And if anyone listening or watching has, connections or contacts, please reach out to Vikki. So speaking of reaching out to you, how can they contact you?
How do they contact me? The best way is through my website, gotyournumber.ca. My email is info@gotyournumber.ca.
That's simple. I like the gotyournumber.ca. Like, that is such a neat website name or domain name. That's really smart. I like that one.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much, Vikki, for being on our show today. Do you have any final words of wisdom or anything you want to share to our viewers?
I was thinking about that one as well, and I would say that it's easy for us to think that the world's a big scary place, and that there's a lot of negativity in the world these days, and it's all about where we put our focus. So I just like to encourage everyone to be really careful about what they're taking into their consciousness right now at this difficult time in our planet's history, and to put your focus on the really positive things that are happening in the world. So yeah, that would be my final parting words of wisdom there.
Yes, and those are really important. Yeah, I love it. So, Vikki, it was a pleasure having you on Empowering You TV. Just hang on a couple of minutes. I'll come back to you when we're complete.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. So remember, everyone, inch by inch, you can overcome any challenge that is in front of you. I do believe in you. I know you can get through anything. Till next time, be brave, be bold, and be yourself. Take care.